In this playthrough, I will choose Huxley as my favorite, and I'm curious how Dahlia will react. It would be a lie to say that the clown wasn't growing on you. Though at first you did only bring him to the dollhouse in order to provide Dahlia with some company. He's a funny little guy in his own right, even if not always through his jokes. You'll have to start thinking of some ways to make him feel more welcome in the house now that you know Dahlia will be able to get along with him. Things are fairly peaceful in the dollhouse for some time after. You check on the toys from time to time, a little more frequently than you would when it was only Dahlia and Whisker in the house. It's more active than it has been in some time, so there's more to see going on. You decide you'll be adding some new things for them from time to time to keep up this level of activity. Huxley is as motivated as always and not tired and demotivated at all. Try that piece in the bottom right there. Whisker leans forward against the table to move one of the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. His little paw nudges it carefully down to fit within its place. Oh, okay, that's part of the red costume. That's why the color was so different. Oh, what are you two up to in here? Hey, Dahlia. Whisker was just helping me with this puzzle. I tried by myself, but you know me. Butterfingers. Huxley says this as he extends one of his digitless stump arms before lowering it again. Oh yes, I see. I really enjoy puzzles too. You should have told me. I would be happy to help. Hey, you were reading, so I didn't wanna bother you about it. Plus, I think Whisker likes puzzles. The rabbit perks up at this, confirming the statement. Dahlia's demeanor changes at this. Something about this is bothering her. Whisker never wanted to do puzzles with me. He never wants to sit on my lap like that either. Actually, where did you get this? I don't remember seeing this puzzle before. You haven't? I found it in the foyer today. I assumed you'd left it out. I don't leave my things lying around. It must be new. How odd. The owner always brings new gifts to my attention. Hey, I guess it was for me then. Yes, because you are the owner's favorite. This will end deadly. Murder in the dollhouse, for sure. I don't think it's much your style anyway. Dahlia moves a little closer to the table to look at the illustration on the puzzle's box. Beautiful. It features a group of circus performers putting on a show in front of a drably dressed audience. Their costumes are bright and colorful against the muted background. The only full character in the puzzle they've put together so far is the mustachioed clown in the striped tights. Yes, I suppose it would have to be for you then. Something's wrong, Dahlia? You can still put it together with us. Not wrong exactly, but was this the only thing in the foyer? Yeah, I didn't see anything else out of place. Oh, that's mean. Huxley got a present. And Dahlia not. That's unfair. Well, you two enjoy your puzzle then, I suppose. I have other things to do. What's up with her, Whisker? You think she's mad at me? Are you really so naive? Don't you really understand anything? I hate guessing games like this. I guess I'll just ask her about it later. She's angry, and I understand this. She's ranking second. That's not okay. They are both living here. Dahlia makes her way up to the attic and knocks on the ceiling of the house. Are you up there? I know you had to be here earlier. Tap tap. I thought so. That was awfully mean of you earlier, you know. Leaving Huxley a gift and nothing for me. Now that you have a new toy, you're just going to leave me to gather dust? She's being so melodramatic, but you did somewhat expect this from her. She's never taken well to having to share attention. Though you're a little surprised, she's already noticed you giving him attention over a single small gift. He didn't even thank you or give you credit for it, so it's not as though he's going to be seeking your attention out because of a puzzle. Well, Since you don't plan on answering me, you should know I'm feeling very cross with you about this. Between leaving me alone in here for so long and then immediately turning your attention to your new friend, I'm feeling very replaced. So, I expect you to do something to make this up to me. A fragile body and a fragile heart. The porcelain drama queen exits the attic. You might consider getting her something as well to cheer her up. But at the same time, you don't want to encourage her to indulge in such dramatics every time you do something with Huxley. And you know she'll catch on if you make it a pattern. For now, you'll just have to ignore this outburst. You leave the dollhouse alone for the rest of the day. The next morning, you decide to check on the group around breakfast time. Luckily, it looks like everyone is relaxed again, as they are all spending time together. Okay, so it's a quiche? Quiche, Huxley. Quiche. Are you paying attention? You look ready to fall asleep. That's nothing new. I never get up this early. My head feels empty and my body feels boneless. You don't have bones. And I'm not sure if your head is empty or not, actually. Do you have glass eyes, like mine? Wait, you're distracting me. I'm trying to give instructions. Hehe, sorry, Lady Dahlia, please continue. Well, I was going to have you dice the vegetables for the quiche. But I'd rather not have you holding the knife while you're so tired. Why don't you mix up the eggs for me instead? I'll measure out the other ingredients for you to mix in and you'll just have to man the mixer. Aye, chef, easier for me. I'm a klutz or a klutz with a knife anyway. Ah, right, Butterfingers. Did she take that seriously? The group gets to work on their complex breakfast dish. Dahlia works efficiently as she dices up the various vegetables into little cubes that will suit the size of the dish. She occasionally moves to check on Huxley's progress, but he seems to have things handled. Whisker hangs onto the clown's back, watching the mixture churning in the bowl and occasionally moving the lever switch when Huxley asks him to. As you watch, you start to notice how much Dahlia looks over their way, a small frown on her face. Whisker catches her eye at one point and looks away. She turns her gaze down to her cutting board. She's sad and jealous. I understand this. By the time everything is put together to go into the oven, she's on edge. She excuses herself from the kitchen, asking Huxley to set the timer for her on her way out. She heads to the foyer. Stepping into the foyer, Dahlia spots a handful of items on the box-turned table that Huxley arrived in. A couple of colored balls, some silk handkerchief squares, also colorful, some oversized playing cards. All these things are for this stupid clown? I can't believe it. Nothing she'd really be interested in. But there is one particularly ornate item among the group. She approaches and picks it up. Oh, what a cute little cane! I usually prefer parasols, but this is nice. Ah! As she turns the wooden cane over in her hands, she observes the metal handle at the top. It's fairly textured, made to be easy to grab even without wrapping fingers all the way around it. The flat top holds a little painted disc, painstakingly etched with a decorative H. A personalized present for our favorite Huxley. Your work is detailed, even when working with such small materials. You were very particular in making this gift. The hand-crafted cane lies splintered in half on the ground. Whoa! Ah! What was that? Nothing. Didn't I tell you to wait in the kitchen? So, I don't have to. And I was worried. You were acting weird. Ah, those for me? Dahlia kicks the handle end of the broken cane behind her with her heel. Probably. Looks like all of it is for you. Whisker skitters across the foyer to Huxley's side, carrying the cane handle in his paws. His little plush steps went unnoticed by the larger toys in the room. Huxley takes the cane and looks to see what Dahlia was hiding. Geez, Dahlia, what's your problem? Seriously, what did I even do? It's not you. I'm just upset with the owner right now. I was really angry, and I had just picked up the cane. I was so mad, I just hit it against the box without thinking, and it broke. It was an accident. Bull, you didn't break anything else. You only broke something that was for me. Huxley, are you crying? No, I honestly didn't think it would mean so much to you. It's just a cane. It was made for me. Nobody's ever made something just for me. You have so much. But you wanna take away what I've got too? It was an accident. You already admitted you thought about it. That's enough. You're very upset with Dahlia for this, and you can see Huxley is getting pretty worked up. I've never seen a doll or a clown cry. This is my first time, and I'm moved to tears. I feel so sorry for Huxley. Best to separate them for now and put Dahlia where you don't have to look at her for a little while. But you put Dahlia away in her room and lock the door. Huxley, who was already upset by this turn of events, is terrified at seeing your hand enter the dollhouse so suddenly. There isn't much else you can do but leave him alone to calm down. Dahlia pounds on the door of her room. You can hear her voice cracking as she cries to you, threatens you, says whatever she can think of to be absolved of any guilt. She just doesn't want to take responsibility for what she did. You decide to leave her in there until you're feeling less upset about what happened, whenever that happens to be. For now, you decide to focus on making a new gift for Huxley. You hadn't expected him to be so sentimental over it. But knowing now that it's so meaningful to him, you're newly motivated to make something for him that he'll enjoy. If he's willing to accept something like that from you, even with his fear of your physical presence, it's a good first foot in the door to actually bonding with the clown. But what to make? I remake the cane. A cane helps him when he has to walk longer distances and he's too tired to jump. Right, the cane really meant a lot to him. You originally thought of it as a convenience item to help him reach things around the house that were difficult for him without hands. But you wanted it to be personal for him as well, hence the elaborate customization. While not the most beautiful miniature you ever crafted for the house, as a first for him it still holds some meaning. You decide to clear the remains of the old one once everyone is asleep. Then you'll make it anew. Over the next couple of days you leave the dollhouse alone to work diligently on the cane for Huxley. You imagine he would like some time without you looming over the house after what happened before. However, you know that before you can present him with his cane, you'll have to try to get things back to normal within the house. It's time to check on Dahlia. You find her lying on her bed, completely despondent. She's fully dressed, though you can't be sure whether that means she has been getting up every day to get ready or just hasn't changed into her pyjamas since you put her here. You unlock the door with a click. She is immediately alert. You're back. I thought maybe you were going to leave me in here forever. I'm sorry for acting out before. I shouldn't have destroyed something that you made. Well, this is a surprise. But you doubt she'll learn much from this, even if she's trying to make up with you now. You should consider my feelings too, though. It's not about the gifts specifically. You know that, don't you? Oh boy, you aren't sure what to do in response to this. She looks ready to burst into tears and you're still pretty cross with her. It doesn't negate your suspicion. She's only trying to get your sympathy so you'll forgive her for acting out. She looks up and around the room expectantly. When nothing happens, she slowly sinks. I see. You don't want to talk about it right now. That's fine. It's fine. I should go. Let Huxley and Whisker know I'm out again. And I suppose talk to Huxley about this. I love you. Please talk to me soon. She anxiously hurries out of the room, her posture stiff and her expression full of worry. Just in case, you stick around to listen in on her and Huxley. You find the conversation already in progress, but their voices are low and hard to hear. Perhaps Dahlia didn't want you to listen in. I just worry that that's the direction this is going. I don't remember it clearly, but I do have mentions in my journal. I don't think it's out of the question that replacement is what they have in mind. Well, I don't know them very well, so I couldn't say that. But when I got here, you tried very hard to tell me how much you trusted them on stuff. Plus, don't you think that's kind of an overreaction to a few gifts for me? This house is already full of stuff for you, so it's just common sense that more things would be added for me to balance it out. You just don't get it. My bond with them is special, so I can tell when they are pulling away. Well, so what then? So what? Yeah, I mean, they put me in here for you, didn't they? It's not like you'd be alone even if they did decide to focus their attention on me. That's not the same. Oh, I'm not trying to say I don't like you, Huxley. I like you a lot, you're my friend. But the owner, that's something else, different entirely. My friendship with you makes me happy, but you don't give my life purpose. Nobody can do that for you, Dahlia. I know you think you're made just for them. But here's the thing. You have no purpose. Nobody does. Nobody can give you one. That's the awful truth. You have to get by in life by your own will. Or just spin your wheels, like I was when I just gave up. It's your own choice. There's no pressure to live for someone else, but there's no drive outside of your own wants. And that's difficult, but it is what it is. But that can't possibly be right. And how would you know anyway? You've spent your whole life just moping around, hating what you are. Just because you lack any purpose doesn't mean I do too. I should have known better than to confide in you. You don't get it because you've never been anyone's favorite. Well, I'm Whisker's favorite. For the second time, in just a few minutes, Dahlia storms out of the room, though this time it's clear she's angrier than she is upset. But at the very least, Huxley stood his ground this time. Dahlia looks like she's going to go sulk over tea in the kitchen, so you feel safe in leaving them alone while you get back to work. As long as she isn't at his throat, she can be mad all she likes. Oh, wow! Today you finished your cane for Huxley. Rather than draw attention to it, you left it in the foyer for him to find. You're excited to see his reaction. He carefully picks up the cane. It's not a perfect recreation, but one you took a little bit more time with. Tiny relief carvings spiral down the cane. They aren't detailed since scale is a difficult factor for you, but they were chosen with care. Stars in simple comedy and tragedy masks are the main motif you chose. The masks feature prominently on the metal handle as well. It's certainly more ornate than before. I'd like to see it. But you used the same age initialed medallion as before, as the inlay. A careful reconstruction of the original gift, with a little extra love put into it to make up for the loss of the first. He holds it with his arms, standing there in quiet thought before he breaks the silence. Ah, you're probably around, right? Right. There you are. Geez. I've just realized I don't really know how to talk to you. Especially since I've been avoiding you. You had to have noticed that. Sorry about that and thanks for this. I really didn't think you'd care about me at all, since it'd be pretty easy for you to just think of me as some object for your entertainment. But you surprised me. Don't think I'll be dressing up all swanky to match this thing though. It will be for knocking stuff off of shelves and helping me up the stairs, and that's it. Dahlia steps down the stairs, frowning as she looks at the conspicuous cane in the foyer. Huxley's initial joviality clears right up at seeing how she's looking at it. Ah, that cane! I suppose I should keep my distance then. What do you mean? It's not like you'd break it a second time. I told you that was an accident. You are still trying that, huh? I guess I didn't mean to imply you wouldn't break it again out of the goodness of your heart anyway. You only wouldn't break it because you got in trouble for it the first time. And I suppose you had the time of your life with me locked away in there then, didn't you? Not having to deal with me, encroaching on your time with Whisker or the owner. Perhaps I should worry of how you might think up ways to get rid of me for longer than that. You're just trying to get a rise out of me now. How so? It's the truth. Unless you think everything I do should be about you too. I am the only one who hasn't been acting that way over you after all. So I would understand your confusion. Why are you so jealous of me? Jealous? There's nothing to be jealous of. The owner is only giving you attention because you're a novelty. You're new, and they'll get bored of you. Shh, shut up. And even if they do, whatever. Whiskers, my friend. I thought you were too, but whatever. One is plenty for me. At least he cares about me. You never care about anyone but yourself. Whisker quietly enters the room, having heard the commotion and his name being used. He looks especially worried. That's not true. I care about the owner, or else this wouldn't even matter to me because they care about me too. Oh yeah? Then what happened to what you said before about their silence being fine with you? They can ignore you all they want, as long as they aren't giving attention to anyone else. You're not sure at all about whether they care about you. You're worried. You're just a toy to them. Because you put all your worth into getting their approval. You make yourself miserable, Dahlia. So stop coming up with ways to blame me for that. Neither of us control what they do. Neither of us can know for sure how they feel. Neither of us can guarantee we are more than just possessions for them. So it's pointless. If you don't want to be my friend, just leave me alone. You sit in silence for a moment. Is that really how he feels about you? Even after you went out of your way to make him feel welcome? He's right about Dahlia's insecurity, but maybe he's the same. Maybe he just can't trust you. You don't like it, but it's hard to completely disregard his point of view. You aren't in the same position at all, and he knows it. Surely he realizes how long you've dealt with Dahlia and her dramatics, though. If you threw out toys every time they were difficult with you, you would never have any. Dahlia returns from the kitchen. Huxley? What? What do you want, Dahlia? You really don't understand a thing. You ruined everything, don't you get it? Dahlia? Dahlia holds a kitchen knife in her hand. I was wrong. I can admit that. Wanting friends was wrong. It should have been just us. Even Whisker doesn't need to be here. Whisker is quick to flee. He bumps into the box, knocking the lid open. He uses it for cover. You're acting nuts. If you want the cane so bad, just take it. I just won't have anything. It's better than whatever this is. I don't want the stupid cane. I just want things to be like they were. Dahlia, please, you are scaring me. You begin to reach in for Dahlia. But she lunges before you can come even close. You're doing it on purpose. Going on and on about how much it doesn't matter to you. About how you aren't even trying. It just comes so easy to you, doesn't it? While I worry and try and actually care about what happens. You just mope until everything gets handed to you. I'm not, please. I'll just go. I'll ask them to take me out of here. That's not good enough. I need to know that you won't come back. Dahlia! Oh no. With the knife swinging, there isn't much you can do but wait. He stopped moving early into the attack. She even tore out his spring and tossed it across the room. Not that he had been able to use it to get away. He's barely recognizable as the puppet you chose by the time she stands up over him. His rubber head was split right up the middle and now lays splayed on the ground like opened butterfly wings. It's like each half of his face is a mask, each displaying a different emotion held in his final moments. His lining is shredded, his stuffing tossed every which way. He's beyond salvaging. Whisker, you weren't always so bad. So I'm sorry about this. You step away from the dollhouse. How did things go? So wrong so quickly. You need to find something to put Dahlia in. You can't leave her in there, but you don't want to pick her up while she's acting like this. The knife is the size of an X-Acto blade to you, but you don't doubt she would stick it right through your hand if you gave her the chance. Assuming she didn't go for a vein instead. You find a jar that should be about the right size and grab a large paintbrush to shove her into it with and return to the dollhouse. You're met with the burning smell and the sight of smoke exiting the windows. You find Dahlia sitting in the attic. In the brief time you were away, she set the room ablaze. You can smell some sort of accelerant. It makes you wonder if she put some thought into this before, about what she would do. It occurs to you to attempt to scoop her into the jar but fire is already creeping up the sides of her dress, of her hair. If she wants it that way, she can have it that way. I leave her. Huxley was right, in a way. She's in a hell of her own making. And never has it been so clear as now, when you see her being taken by the flames. Cracks form from the heat, and her clothes and hair burn away. You look away. You start to think there was never a possibility of either of you being happy in this arrangement. It's both a punishment and a mercy to let her burn. You leave to grab a pitcher of water for the fire. To scale, it's small and fairly contained. The only damage is to the dollhouse. Still, you move your paint thinners and repair supplies off of your table and spritz down the surface with water to catch any stray embers. And you wait. You don't put out the fire until you're sure she has been reduced to nothing more than porcelain debris. You take some responsibility for the situation. After all, it was your dollhouse. You were in charge of it. But things were clearly beyond any redemption. You're not sure when you'll be up to it, but you'll just have to start over fresh. A new home, maybe new toys. And you'll be sure your control is known to be undefiable, so that this never happens again. The doll maker, the monster maker. What happens if I save her? The dollhouse is definitely ruined. Huxley and Whisker are beyond saving. Horrible as she has been, she's the only thing left. You reach into the dollhouse with your tools and scoop the burning doll into the jar. It's lucky for her that you chose a glass container, or you wouldn't have even had the option. You hurry her into the bathroom, the lid held over the jar to try to keep the smoke from escaping. It's not quite enough to smother the fire. You finally bring her to the sink and turn on the faucet, drenching her and filling the container with water. By the time you've done all of this, her cotton clothing has been ruined. Her wool-wefted hair has easily burned away. Her paper flowers are only ashes in the water. She's naked and charred and unrecognizable, but she's alive. Try as she might to convince you otherwise by sinking motionlessly to the bottom of the jar. You'll have to remake her. The damage is extensive, but she's a monster of your making. You'll breathe new life into her, and hopefully this time you'll get it right. The Princess Ashpottle. This was Don't Toy with Me. Even harmless dogs and friendly clowns can become murderers because of jealousy, because another one is the favorite. Keep cool, keep crazy, and don't forget to meow. Remember that piano, so delightful, unusual. It would a great idea to make a sequel. Dahlia gets a new friend to live with her in the dollhouse, and maybe Whisker gets a bunny girlfriend. Who knows? Keep cool, keep crazy, and don't forget to meow. Never be jealous of another one, because it can end deadly. And this last consequence must not be.